Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing this morning? Welcome back to Helping Humanity Evolve, y'all. My name is Jose. Listen, it's Sunday, March 23rd, bro. 6/29, 2025, year to rapture. Right? It's 6:29 a.m. 6:29 a.m. y'all. So we up, we up. You already know, man. We up. We had a beautiful weekend, bro. Yesterday I had a beautiful journey, bro. And I'm gonna tell you guys about it in a few minutes. All right, so today's message is coming from the Confederation of Planets, from Z. The channeler is Sarah B. Trennell. It's gonna be narrated by me, by Yahweh, bro. Shout out to GFL, bro. Shout out to the Galactic fan, bro. The question is, how do we navigate third destiny drama, right? And the topic is your world is about to rapidly shift. So I didn't receive this message, so I don't know what it's about. But we'll get into that, right? We'll get into that. Today's topic, today's topic. Quick shout out, man. Shout out to my light workers all around the world, man. You know, the real ones. I love y'all, bro. There's some real genuine people out there. There's a lot of fake people, but there's a lot of real genuine people out there. So I want to give a shout out to y'all. I see y'all, bro. They're doing a hell of a job. You hear me? God sees you, God loves you, God recognizes you, bro. To the haters and the copycats, you know, you shall perish and you shall be sent to purgatory, bro. You should learn how to be original. So, uh, I wanted to address something this morning, right? Pertaining to a spiritualist, right? But, you know, I'm gonna just tell y'all like this, look. There's people there's people in this game that I'm in that's trying so hard. They're trying so hard to be me. They're trying so hard to keep up. They're trying to keep up, right? They can't, bro. They recycling videos. Listen to me. They recycling old material, bro. I would never do that to you, bro. You understand? God don't roll like that, bro. Only copycats roll like that, bro. So you know, if your if your favorite spiritual content master is recycling his material because he can't put out new content, you know, you should think about getting a new spiritual advisor. Right? That was not dependable. He's not dependable, bro. You understand? I don't like to reteach my topics. I like to release, you know, release the video and leave it there. And you know, if people need to come across it, they will. Sometimes I reinforce topics, or I might bring them back up to discuss something that I didn't discuss before. But I'm not gonna bring it up and release it as brand new when I already fucking released it. You understand? That doesn't make any sense. So I wouldn't do that. You know, God knows what the work we did, and He knows, you know, what information's out there and what we need to touch on again if we need to. And if we need to, I'll make a new live. You know, I'll just make a new live about the topic. I won't sit there and recycle my own material. Like that's crazy to me, bro. You understand? So you know, with that said, bro, this is your only source for fresh information, for new, fresh information. But, you know, everything you get comes from here, bro. Right? I'm not biting off nobody. I'm not worried about what nobody else is talking about. I'm not worried about what they doing. I'm worried about what I'm doing. So let them watch me. Let them copy me. Let them try to keep up with me. You know, at the end of the day, you know, I'm the original source. There's nothing they can do about that. You know, sit in your cell and cry like a bitch because you're mad, bro. Right? That's all you can do. Go recycle another old video of you being mad and put it out so I can see it, you fucking dumbass. Oh yeah, I do want to say one more thing, and this goes to everybody. Listen to me. This is for the world. If you got something to say about Jesus Christ, say it to my face, pussy. You got something to say about Jesus Christ, say it to my face, pussy. Cause a lot of y'all niggas always got something to say, but y'all don't say shit to my face. Y'all always throw subliminals. Like y'all don't know how to speak directly. I speak directly, nigga. I ain't scared of y'all niggas. Fuck y'all niggas, bro. You understand me? So with that said, y'all always in the building. You want something with me, nigga? Bring it. Nigga, bring it. All right. That's for all y'all niggas who can suck my balls, bro. You understand me? Fuck these niggas out here, bro. I show these niggas love and they want to act like bitches, bro. So, I just wanted to touch on that real quick. Like, I'm not gonna make it the whole show. So, I'm seeing some more channelers coming out, channeling Galactic Federation, supposedly. I hope you are. I hope it's real, right? I hope it's real, bro. Yesterday when I went on my journey, I received quite a few downloads. Bro. I received quite a few upgrades yesterday too. Right. So, whatever, what they forced me to do was purge. I was forced to purge. I wasn't ready for that. Remember, I was telling you guys yesterday morning how Trippy dropped 3 videos, and I was excited to go on these journeys. All right, so 2 of the videos were really good videos, right? One of them I didn't know, and you don't really know until you take the journey. One of them was a purging video, bro, and I didn't know that, bro. So I took the 2 journeys, and I'm ready for the 3rd one. So I put on the 3rd one, bro, and I'm like, all right, we're about to get busy, bro. Like I was like mid-journey, bro. I was excited, I was happy, right? We got so much footage, and I put on this 3rd video, and immediately, bro, they start to purge, bro. What I mean by purge? What do you mean by purge, Yahweh? All right, well, purge means old feelings rising to the surface to be released. Old feelings rising to the surface to be released. So certain sounds they play that really trigger your emotions, bro. They trigger your pain. They trigger them, bro. So this particular video triggered the fuck out of my pain, bro. Like when I tell you it triggered me, bro, listen to me, bro. I had to cry for like 2 hours. Listen, 2 hours, bro. So 2 hours I'm sitting here weeping, I'm weeping. And then finally I see, yo, bro, fuck this video, bro. Fuck this video, bro. I don't want to watch this video no more. I don't want to cry no more, bro. So, I switched the video, man. Fuck this, bro. Right? I didn't want to stop my journey to start crying, bro. I was having fun, bro. Right? But, it came with the process, right? So, I purged heavily, bro. Heavily, bro. So, I purged heavily. I released all the bullshit, right? And then, I continued to perform. I put on a different video. And I put on my music. I muted the TV and I put on my music because I was like, y'all already got me, bro. These niggas already got me for 2 hours, bro. They got me for 2 hours, bro. And sitting here making me cry, bro. So I had to purge on my pain, I realized that I still had some bottled up pain in there that had to come out, bro. Like, I was really trying to keep that tucked in there, right? But I couldn't, bro. I had to release it, bro. So I released it, bro. So that was a big part of my journey yesterday was releasing, purging, right? Because, they said, they've been saying in all the messages that's coming, right? How all these energies are going to force you to purge. They're going to force you to heal, bro. So, I thought I was fully healed, bro. I thought I purged already, right? I thought I did this already. So I wasn't really thinking much of it. So when it happened to me, I'm like, why is this happening, bro? I thought it was witchcraft, somebody trying to ruin my day or somebody trying to ruin my mood, and I said, nah, maybe I got bottled up emotions, right? And stuff I was trying to keep tucked in there. So I released them, right? I released all the bullshit, bro. I let it all out. I felt so much better. I took a break. I took a break, and then I came back. I went outside. I got some sun. I came back, and I started dancing again, bro. I put on some music and I started dancing again, bro. So the downloads, right? I'm gonna give you one of them. I'm gonna give you one of them, bro. And I always tell people, if you want to receive your own downloads, you need to get into meditation, bro. Which, getting your own downloads is the best way to practice spirituality because listening to other people all the time is unhealthy. You understand me? It's very confusing. You get mixed information. You get too much mixed information, for my liking, bro. That's going to make you misunderstand a lot of the information you're trying to absorb. People take a subject that they know a little bit of truth about, and they start to speak it, and then they reel people in with that little bit of truth. And then once they get you there, they switch it off. And you realize, holy fuck, bro, this person didn't even know what the fuck they were talking about. Yeah, well, you just wasted whatever hours you spent watching that person, bro. And you just absorb all that bullshit, right? Which is why, I tend, if I do listen to people, the minute I hear some bullshit I don't like, I cut them off. I don't want to hear no more. I'm not wasting my time. I'm not wasting my energy, nigga. I'm going to apply my shit to something that's going to help me, bro. Not something that's going to confuse me, bro. You understand? So, take heed to those words, man, because a lot of people are looking for information. A lot of people are looking for the guru, for the teacher that's going to show them the way home. If you discover my channel, you already found the guru. You already found the way home. All that's left for you to do is practice. If you're not practicing, what the fuck you watching me for? What are you watching anyway if you're not practicing for it? If you're not taking in no words, if you're not practicing no meditations, and you just sitting there watching content all day, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Right? I would love to know that, bro. I used to watch content and I would turn it off and I would go into meditation. He said do this, she said do this. He said sit like this. Let me try this for 3 minutes. Let me try this for 4 minutes today. Let me try this for 5 minutes today. And practicing what I was learning, bro. Right? Until I had my own experiences, bro. So the point to where, guess what? Now I don't gotta watch shit. Now I could just sit here and go into meditation and receive my downloads, right? Receive the information I want to receive so I can go teach. You understand? And I get these downloads either I get them during the day or I get them at night. You know what I'm saying? So, with that said, I received a download from the aliens. I don't know what specific group sent me this message. I don't know who sent it. When I interact with a lot of these aliens, I never ask who are you. I never asked them that, bro, because it's a feeling, it's a feeling of love, it's a feeling of comfort, it's a feeling of calm, it's a feeling of warmth, right? It feels good. So when I interact with these beings, I feel so calm and collected. I just look at them, right? I just look at them and listen, because they're giving me information. So, what I was shown yesterday was a awakening world. It was an awakening world. You understand me? So, what does that mean? What does that mean, bro? You were shown an awakening world, right? A lot of people are starting to have realizations, and the numbers are growing. So what they showed me, and I can't tell you the perspective. I don't know whose perspective it was. I don't know, why they put me there to experience that. I don't know. But someone had a realization yesterday. It wasn't me. Someone did, and I was put in their shoes for a few moments. So I was put in their shoes at the moment they realized that the aliens were God, right? They realized that the aliens were God, and they were crying to the aliens because they didn't know, and the aliens was asking them so explain yourself, right? Explain yourself, nigga. You thought we weren't real. You thought God wasn't real, right? So explain yourself, bro. So whoever this person was, they didn't. I guess they did a lot of shit, right? Because they just started crying uncontrollably, bro. And you know, I'm sitting there experiencing this, but I'm thinking to myself, bro, I already had this experience. I remember this experience I had years ago, bro, years ago, and it was nothing like this. It was very, very different, you know, when I discovered aliens and when I discovered that they're a part of God, you know. My reaction was different. My reaction wasn't this. My reaction, you know, was very, very different, bro. So this is how I knew that, you know, whatever it was that they were showing me yesterday was not mine. And they were telling me, or they were showing me what people are going to begin to go through. So y'all got to remember, I'm really far ahead of the world in this game, in this spirituality game. I don't care how people make it seem. I don't care what they say. You know, at the end of the day, no one's near me. No one's near me, bro. So I know more than others. I know a lot more than others, bro. And it's not to brag. It's just me being honest with you. So the person that had the realization that the aliens were God, the aliens were gods, one of the gods. And I remember specifically, bro, the alien telling the person, so explain yourself, bro, because you did a lot of stuff, right? And the person didn't want to, whoever they were, they didn't want to explain it. They just kept crying, bro. Like they couldn't believe it. Like they were shocked. They were devastated. Right? And this is the initial feelings, you know, you get when you learn some shit. You know, like when I got mine was very, very different. You know, when I realized that we were being watched every second of the day, nigga, listen to me. You're being watched every second of the day, whether you know it or not, bro. So, you know, whenever you think you're going behind that closed door and you're locking the door, thinking that you're doing something that nobody's ever gonna know about, you know, God's in there with you, bro. Listen to me. Not only God, bro, but the whole universe is in there with you, bro. Every last being that is in existence that is aware of itself can see you, bro. They can see you, bro. So once I learned this, listen to me. Privacy went out the window, bro. Listen to me. Privacy went out the window because there's no such thing. There's no such thing as privacy, bro. Not in this world, bro. You think that you're by yourself. You think that you're alone in that apartment or in that room or, you know, wherever that place is that you're doing your dirt. You think I'm alone. I came by myself. Nobody followed me. Nobody's watching me. There's no cameras. I'm fine. Nobody's ever gonna know. But you know, everybody knows, bro. Listen to me. Everybody knows, bro, including me, bro. Including me, bro, because I'm tapped in. So think about that, bro. Really think about that, bro. When people start to awaken to the level I'm at, and you begin to feel other people's hearts, and they can't hide it from you, that's a problem because they can't hide their secrets no more. They can't put on that mask and give you that fake smile anymore because you see through it. You understand? You see through it, bro. So they don't want you to learn how to do that, right? But at the same time, you know, you have to understand that, you know, no matter what you thought, you were wrong. You were wrong, bro. These beings exist. These beings watch and monitor you. You are an experiment. We are an experiment. You understand me? But you don't know that. You're unaware of that, bro. You think, you know, this is life. This is life. This is not life, bro. This is not life at all, bro. So whatever person this was, they didn't want to explain themselves, right? They didn't want to. They were just shocked. I had a feeling of shock. It was like shock, bro. Like I was devastated, bro. Right? So, you know what's crazy is that I don't feel this way. You understand me? I don't feel this way. But when spirit or when God shows me experiences from other people's perspectives and I begin to feel these feelings and emotions, I have to sit there with like a barrier around myself so that I don't absorb any of these feelings and emotions I'm experiencing because they're not mine. They're not mine, bro. You understand? And this is what's going to get a lot of people because a lot of people will sit there and think that they're yours. So this is how I'm able to observe and experience from a from a different perspective where I'm there, but I'm not. I'm like watching the movie. I'm not connecting to the movie, but I'm watching the movie. Right. So I understand what I'm seeing. I understand what I'm hearing. I understand what's going on. But I'm not allowing myself to get emotionally connected to the situation, to the part, right? Because it's not mine. I'm just here to watch. I'm not here to, I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to, I'm not here to do none of that. I'm just here because they want me to see what's happening for a reason. So I sat through this experience. This experience took roughly 30, 45 minutes. 30, 45 minutes, bro. Listen to me, 45 minutes. About 45 minutes, bro. So this experience lasted 45 minutes. This is a long time. This is enough time for me to analyze and really sit through the situation and see what's going on. So I was able to get the person's feelings and emotions, their expressions, their facial expressions. Right? I was able to get all of that information. What I didn't get was like the privacy, the sit down. They had to sit down with the aliens. And I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened, bro, because I wasn't there for that. They didn't keep me there for that. They kept me there to see the initial reaction, the initial expression of the devastation that the people were going to feel when they found out the truth. That this is God right here, bro. This is a version of God. This is a version, just like I'm a version of God. This is another version of God, bro. You see the gray ones up top? They're different versions of God, bro. Different versions of God, bro. What you are. You're just different versions of yourself, experiencing things from different perspectives. Right? Trying to teach yourself, bro. Listen to me. Trying to teach yourself. Right? This is God trying to teach the other gods that they're gods. Right? So they showed me. They taught me what I am. Right? The aliens, listen to me. I will forever love the aliens. Listen to me, bro. I will forever love the aliens because they the ones who took me to meet my father, bro. When I met them, they took me to meet my father, bro. You understand me? So there's a love there that you cannot. Nobody could come. They could come between that, bro. You can't, bro. You hear me? They took me home, bro. Listen to me. They took me home, bro. Look and say, you want to see Papa? Come on, bro. Get inside the pod. We're gonna take you to Papa. And they took me right to source, bro. Right? They took me right to source, bro. Right? So, think about the concept. We're all different versions of God, having different experiences through different perspectives. And some of us are awake trying to teach the others what we are, bro. God comes in all shapes, sizes, and forms, bro. God could be your cat, right? God could be your dog, right? God could be a little bird. You understand? He could be a fish. He could be whatever, bro. He could be this piece of furniture. He could be this couch I'm sitting on, bro. You understand? But you wouldn't know that because you don't understand this place, right? And once you begin to understand this place, then you begin to understand, how God is everything. God is in everything. This is what I was trying to explain to you guys before. The NPCs, right? The people that don't have souls, the people that don't get recycled. They don't get recycled, right? They only get to have one experience. You ever heard that phrase, live your best life now or some shit? Because it might be your last, and like, you never know. I don't know. What the fuck was that saying, bro? Right? You only live life once, so give it all you got, right? Because you're never gonna get another chance. And while this does, it rings true to a certain species, it does not ring true to everyone. You understand me? So they led you to believe that all you had was one shot, right? All you got is one life, bro. You're never gonna come back. You're gonna die, and you're gonna meet God when you die. But no, you don't die. You don't die, and you actually, your energy just comes back. They wipe your memory and they bring you back, bro. So some of us have multiple, like thousands of life experience. Like we've been here so many times, over and over and over and over and over. And over that there's no more for us to do here. We've done everything already. We live lives as evil people. We live lives as good people. We live lives, short lives as children when we were murdered young, right? We live lives when we died of old age, right? We live lives as animals, as sea animals, right? As nature, right? Sometimes we were the trees. Sometimes we were plants. Sometimes we were wind, right? Sometimes we were fire, right? Who knows, bro? We lived that to be everything. From my understanding, I've lived as everything already. And this is my last life. That's why I'm immortal. That's why I unlock my immortality. Because I lived so many lifetimes. I got so much experience that it's time for me to be a teacher. Right? And this is how I just run. I'm able to just run, bro, because while people think they may be on my level, half of these niggas is not even real people. They clones, bro. Right? They clones with emotions. Right? Just like we robots with emotions, right? Clones with emotions, bro. Everybody thinks they're the true one, but they're just a copy. You're just a carbon copy, bro. You listen to me so that we're understanding each other, bro. You are a carbon copy. You are a carbon copy. All right. I hope that keeps you up at night, bro. Knowing you're a carbon copy. So yes, you are carbon. You are carbon, bro. You're right. You're still not real. You're still not real. How you carbon and you still fake, bro? One of the fakest pieces of carbon I've ever seen in my life, bro. Right, but they exist. Listen to me, they exist. So, back to the experience. So, get off my throne, bitch. I'm coming from my rightful spot, bro. It's mine. My name's already there. Right? I'm already number one, bro. 2025 year of rapture, bro. Have you bought your coffin? Have you bought your coffin? Huh? As a prophet, I'm very much aware of when things are going to happen here. I don't always speak about them. I don't like. Let me put it like this. I'm learning of these abilities that I have to see the future. Now, sometimes I'll be sitting here talking to Jordan, and I'll say things before they happen, and they'll happen, bro. Listen to me, they'll happen, bro. And she'll be like, "What the fuck, right?" And I'll be like, "I told you, bro. I get these feelings, bro. It's crazy, bro." Right? But I don't always speak on them, with that said, right? So I'm very much aware of many things that if I sat here and started to speak about them, a lot of people would know what's coming, when it pertains to their life. But I don't like to use fear as a weapon, right? I don't believe in that. I never did. I never will, bro. I don't want to sit here and tell somebody that this year is the year for you, right? You know, and then they're gonna live the whole year in fear because they don't know when, right? But meanwhile, I do. I know when. I know how. Right? I know everything, bro. About a lot of people, bro. It's crazy, bro. So, with that said, I'm just basically just waiting because it's what it is. God's teaching me patience. Watch what I do to these people, bro. I already unleashed the Holy Ghost on you. I already gave him permission to come through me, bro. He has full access to me 24/7. My heart's open for God 24/7, bro. My vessel has already died and resurrected. Just so that you guys know, if you think I still have to die and come back, I already died and came back, bro. I just did it privately. I did it in the privacy of my own home. I died by myself, right? And I was resurrected, bro. It already happened. It happened in 2022. So I hope you guys are adding that to your timelines. I hope you're factoring that in to whatever timelines you're creating because I've been awake since 2022. So 2022, I'll never forget it. Listen to me. 11/22/22. You hear me? That's the night I passed away and I was resurrected, bro. As who I am now today. So I already died and came back, right? I remember being dead. I remember taking my last breath. I remember that shit was so scary, bro. But I remember it. I remember that shit as clear as yesterday, bro. You don't forget something like that. You never forget something like that, bro. Because, nigga, I remember this shit clearly, bro. Clearly, bro. Like, as I took the last breath, I knew it was my last breath. I knew it. And I was like, that's it. This is it. This is it, bro. We're going home. Right? And I released it. And when I released it, bro, that was it. My body was done. But I wasn't dead, bro. Listen to me. I wasn't dead, bro. I was in a room. I was in a dark, dark room somewhere, bro. And I could hear my voice echo. Right? And I'm like, hello, hello, somebody help me. Where am I? How did I get here? Right? So I wasn't dead, but I passed away. But how am I still alive? How was I still able to talk? How was I still aware that I was in a new place? I was aware that I was in a new place, bro. Like, what place is this? Why is it so dark here, bro? Right? It's so fucking dark in here, bro. And I called out for help. I called out for help. And then my phone started ringing, bro. And my phone starts to ring, bro. And I hear it from far, far away. That sounds like a phone. Until my awareness came back here, and then I reached over, and I was like, holy shit, bro, and I grabbed my phone, and I'm like, hello, like, nigga, that was crazy. I just died, bro. It was like that, bro. So yeah, nigga, you was, bro, and you're back. How, bro? How? So I hope you guys are taking that into consideration when you're doing your little, calculations of things. There's only one. Remember that, y'all. There's only one. I mean, they could clone me, but they can't be me. They could pretend. That's all they could do is pretend. Right? So, dearest light seekers of the one, I am Zia, the Confederation of Planets. Here to walk with you in this sacred moment through this channel. Once more, we speak to you as old friends and fellow travelers on the path. It is our honor to share thoughts with the star seeds and seekers of Earth in this time of great awakening. Before we begin, we gently remind you, take what resonates as true in your heart and leave the rest, for you are the ultimate authority of your journey. With that understanding, we offer our humble counsel in love. In your third density world, polarization is the central lesson. Every moment presents a choice between two orientations of being of service to others or service to self. This is often described as a choice between love and fear, unity and separation. Dear ones, you came into this life to make and refine this fundamental choice. By choosing love, compassion, and kindness, by seeing the Creator in those around you, you align with the positive path of service to others. By choosing control, indifference, or harm, seeing others as tools or threats. And an entity aligns with service to self. Both our paths back to the Creator eventually, but they could not be more different in experience and intention. We of the Confederation have walked the positive path and encourage it, for it is the path of open hearts, unity, and expansion into light. Recognizing polarization in daily life means becoming aware of your intentions in each encounter. Ask gently, within am I coming from love or from fear? From a desire to give or a desire to take? There is no judgment in this inquiry. It is a learning process. If you find fear or selflessness motivating you, do not condemn yourself. Instead, acknowledge it with compassion. Each of you has both shadow and light within. By honestly observing your motives, you empower yourself to choose consciously over time as you consistently choose empathy, generosity, and understanding. You accumulate a powerful polarization towards love. Remember that service to others does not mean neglecting yourself in truth. The path of love recognizes that all is one. The self and the other self are both expressions of the Creator. Thus, taking care of your own mind, body, and spirit is also an essential part of serving the whole. You cannot pour water from an empty cup. Love yourself as an equal beloved child of the Creator, even as you love those around you. By including yourself in a circle of compassion, you avoid martyrdom or burnout and instead offer a balanced service to others. When you encounter individuals who have chosen consciously or unconsciously the path of negativity or self-service, strive to view them with the eyes of understanding. They too are the Creator, exploring a different facet of experience. You need not agree with or enable their actions, but you can respond without hatred. Navigate polarization by setting healthy boundaries in the physical. I sense, yet holding a space of forgiveness and light in the metaphysical sense. In this way, you do not feed the cycle of fear. If someone directs anger or control toward you, you might mentally say, I see you, fellow soul, and I send you love, but I do not dance your dance of anger. This attitude keeps you firmly on the service to others' path, while remaining free of contempt for the others. Your refusal to hate the negative is a great sign of positive polarization. Indeed, as you polarize more toward love, you become a light that illuminates even the darkness around you, sometimes inspiring others to choose love as well, though that ultimately their free will is decision to know that you do not need to be perfectly positive at all times. What is needed for graduation into fourth density is that more than half of your intentions and actions are oriented to kindness and goodwill. In other words, if you habitually choose caring, acceptance, and helpfulness a bit more often than you choose selfishness or judgment, you are aligning with the true vibration of love strongly enough. You are tilting the balance of your love, of your being toward the positive. So do not be disheartened by occasional lapses or moments of anger. Those are expected catalysts, opportunities in third density. Simply notice them. Forgive yourself. Reset your intention to love in the next moment. It is the overall trend of your heart that matters, dear friend, not a tally of mistakes. Each new moment is a fresh chance to choose love again. On earth, life on earth is often intense and challenging. This is by design. Third Density 3D is a fast-paced school for spiritual evolution, and Catalyst is the curriculum. Catalyst is any event, relationship, or feeling that provokes growth. By offering you a choice or lesson, it could be a difficult boss, a heartbreak, an illness, a global crisis on the news, or even the glorious sunset that moves you into tears. All experiences can serve your soul's learning if approached with a willingness to seek meaning. Many of you might wonder, why is there so much struggle and confusion in this world? From my perspective, these very struggles are like the refining fire that tempers steel, and Catalyst presents contrast between what is and what could be, between love and fear, so that you are a conscious being, may exercise your power of choice and strengthen your spiritual muscles without friction. There is no polish. A soul incarnating on earth volunteered to face not only love and beauty, but also sorrow, conflict, and limitation in order to transmute these experiences into greater understanding and compassion. How do you spiritually utilize Catalyst? First, by acceptance of the moment. This does not mean you like or condone a painful situation. It means you acknowledge that it is happening and that it has arrived in your life for a reason. Instead of immediately resisting or escaping the discomfort, take a moment to be present within it. And that presence, actually in itself, what is this teaching me? What part of me is being revealed through this? If you are feeling anger, for example, your anger might teach you about an unmet need or a boundary that was crossed. If you are feeling grief, it may reveal how deeply you love, what was thus pointing to the great capacity for love within you. Every catalyst contains a gift, an insight, a chance to heal an old wound, an opportunity to forgive self or others for a call to act with courage. Understand, unprocessed catalyst doesn't just vanish. It tends to repeat or intensify until its lesson is learned. This is not a punishment, but a compassionate design of the soul's learning system. Have you noticed patterns in your life, the same type of relationship or a challenge reoccurring often? This indicates a lesson knocking again at your door. When you finally grasp the lesson, for instance, learning to value yourself or to trust or to let go of control, the pattern often dissipates and you move on to new lessons. So it behooves the seeker to consciously work with as catalysts as they arise, gleaning the lessons intentionally rather than needing life to shout louder. Next time, one powerful way to process catalysts is through the practice of forgiveness. Forgiveness is a multifaceted jewel. Forgiving others for their perceived wrongs and equally important, forgiving yourself for your errors and flaws. Forgiveness is the alchemical agent that transforms heavy energies into light. When you forgive, you release resentment and guilt, and guilt energies that otherwise weigh you down in lower vibrations. This release frees you to respond to life with a fresh heart. For example, if you quarrel with a friend and feel hurt, you have the catalyst of conflict. You can choose to cling to the hurt, thus attracting more conflict or bitterness, or you can seek to understand your friend's perspective and forgive the hurt, thus learning about compassion and strengthening your bond. In forgiving, you extract the love and wisdom from the situation and let the rest go. As you navigate catalysts, be tender and patient with yourself. Some lessons are lifelong themes you will spiral through them repeatedly, each time at a deeper level. You might say, hey, I haven't worked on this issue before. Why is it back? Or, you would say, hey, haven't I worked on this issue before? Why is it back? Take heart that with each pass you are gaining refinement. You are like a dancer practicing steps. Each practice makes you more skillful. Even if the dance is the same, no experience is wasted. Even if you respond to a catalyst poorly by your own judgment, you can learn from that in hindsight. In truth, there are no failures, only learning. Every reaction, whether loving or not, can teach you something valuable once you reflect on it. So do not fear. Catalyst, embrace it as a teacher. Life in itself, in all its textures, is your trusted spiritual instruction here in 3D. You live at a unique moment. 1 foot in third density and 1 foot in fourth density. 5D consciousness, the OD 3D world is all around you, physically heavy and often full of distortion and confusion. Yet many of you carry within your hearts a fifth dimensional awareness, a memory of intuition, a life centered in love, harmony, and unity. You might at times feel torn between these realities, how to honor the truth of your higher awareness while dealing with the day-to-day dramas of 3D. Life begins by recognizing you are a bridge. You came into this incarnation not to abandon the 3D world, but to transform it by bringing in the 5D light that shines in your heart. In practical terms, this means actively applying the consciousness of love to the circumstances of daily life. For example, my shit is dry, bro. Excuse me. Your 3D society might encourage competition, judgment, and separation. Your 5D heart whispers of cooperation, understanding, and oneness. As a bridge, you can choose high values into play, even in small ways. Maybe in your workplace, you quietly foster teamwork and kindness to find the cutthroat mentality in your family. You practice listening and empathy, healing generational patterns of conflict. These seemingly modest choices are profound acts of anchoring in the reality. The fourth density earth grows. One choice, one interaction at a time. Through you handling 3D distortions such as fear, anger, prejudice, or despair requires conscious practice. When you are confronted with negativities, whether in yourself or others, try this pause, try this. Pause, take a deep conscious breath. Remember that on a high level, all is well and all is one, even if appearances suggest otherwise. This recollection is like opening a window in a stuffy room to let fresh air in. It allows your 5D perspective to flow into the moment from that higher viewpoint. Ask, what would love do here? What is the most compassionate response for the highest good of all? Simply asking this invites your soul's wisdom to guide your words and actions. You might be surprised at the intuitive sight or gentle inspiration that comes when you step back and align with your higher self. Perhaps instead of reacting to someone's harsh words with your own harshness, and you suddenly see their pain and respond softly, breaking the cycle of conflict, perhaps instead of panicking at a chaotic news report, you send a prayer of light to those affected and see how you can help in your own community. These are examples of living from 5D awareness while in 3D scenarios. It is important to take care of your emotional and energetic body. As you do this, uh, bridging work and third density vibrations can feel heavy and even toxic to sensitive souls. Many of you who identify as starseeds feel this acutely responding each time. Spending each day to cleanse and uplift your energy will help you sustain your higher consciousness. This could mean different things for different people. Some may literally envision a waterfall of light and meditation washing away the day's stress. Others may find solace in nature where the 3D or 4D blend feels more harmonious, allowing them to recalibrate. Find what helps you reconnect to the lightness of being. The more you clear accumulated fear or frustration, the more your natural 5D light can shine through. Your 3D personality, self-star seeds, and wanderers are we particularly speak to you now who feel as though you come from elsewhere, that Earth is not your true home. In a sense, many of you have memories in your soul of civilizations and realms with far less disharmony than Earth's current state. It can be disorienting and even painful to be in the density of Earth's vibration. After knowing higher love, we want you to know that you are here by choice and with a profound purpose. You are the bringers of a new dawn. Your very presence carrying the vibration of your home density is helping uplift this world. When you practice inner alignment and act with love, you essentially transmit the frequency of your origin, be it 5D, 6D, etc., to the earth plane. This is a tremendous service. Even if it feels like just being me, take comfort in the fact that you are never truly alone. Your guides and higher dimensional family watch over you and rejoice at your courage. Know that the homesickness in your heart is also a beacon. It keeps you oriented toward creating here on earth that feeling of home, love, harmony that you remember. In doing so, you are literally helping build the 5D future on this planet. So when the world around you feels particularly crude or cruel compared to what your heart imagines, do not despair that vision in your heart. That vision in your heart exists so that you can midwife it into reality. Here, hold your vision gently but firmly. Simultaneously practice radical acceptance of the world as it is now. This paradox is important. Accept what is even as you work toward what can be. Even if you reject the present entirely, you may fall into anger or escapism. If you reject your vision, you will lose hope, balance. You will lose hope and balance. Both a mantra for this might be: this moment is perfect for my growth, and the future will be even brighter through my loving contributions. Now, your planet Earth is presently undergoing a profound density transition, a shift from third density vibrations to fourth density vibrations. Fourth density is often referred to as the density of love and understanding. In more popular terms, this is the 5D Earth that many speak of, an era of expanded consciousness, unity, and compassion becoming the norm. This transition is already underway. Indeed, it is well advanced. Many of your mystics and channels have noted that the new Earth is born in a subtle form. We would affirm this, that you are living in the overlap of worlds. Consider that you are in fourth density already. In terms of the planet's energy itself, the Earth's core vibration has shifted into green ray heart centered frequency. However, you still inhabit third density bodies and see with 3D eyes. So the infant 4D Earth is not yet visible to your physical senses. It interpenetrates the same space, a higher octave of the planet growing stronger year by year. It does. What does this mean for you? Often you may feel the new energies more than see them, subtly beneath the surface of mass consciousness. People are becoming more aware of their inner power, their truth, their desire for peace. The veil of spiritual amnesia is thinning. Many individuals are awakening to the realization that there is more to life than the material rat race. There are signs of fourth density light blooming in human hearts. At the same time, you observe great turbulence in society. Old institutions are crumbling, old patterns of conflict seem to intensify. Those polarizing negativity sometimes grow bolder in their separation. This chaos can be frightening or disheartening when viewed without context. We offer a perspective. What you see are the birth pangs of a new world. Just as the darkest hour comes before the dawn of the final chapter of third density on earth is filled with intensification. The remaining 3D energy is essential, playing itself out dramatically as it gives way to the higher vibrations. All unresolved distortions are being flushed to the surface. This is why you are seeing corruption exposed, extremes of behavior, and a general amplification of polarity. The light is getting brighter, which causes the shadows to become a very stark contrast for a time, knowing that this is a necessary cleansing, much like a deep healing crisis in the body where symptoms flare before they improve. The collective psyche of humanity is shedding its sickness. The key for each of you is not to be swept up in the chaos, but rather to be a stabilizing point of love. Within it is within it you anchor the new reality by holding your light steady. When others are in fear, indeed, every compassionate thought, every kind word, every peaceful meditation you offer into the collective at this time is immeasurably helpful. It might not make headlines, but on the inner planes, it is seen as light blossoming across the globe. We assure you, the cumulative effect of many souls choosing love over fear is what derives this planetary shift. You may wonder about timelines. How long this chaotic transition lasts before the peace prevails? This we cannot precisely say, for it depends on the free will choices of humanity. The momentum towards fourth density, positive, love-based society is strong and inevitable, but the speed and smoothness of the transition can vary. Some souls will take longer to adjust or may incarnate elsewhere if they cannot embrace love by the end of this cycle. What matters for you is standing here and now, is to play your part fully. Know that right now in 2025 and onward, you have the opportunity to graduate this density and help Earth firmly set her course as a planet of love by focusing on your own polarity and growth. As we discussed earlier, and offering your unique gifts and service, you literally tip the scales toward a brighter collective reality. It can be helpful to adopt a long-term perspective. Fourth density is not built in one day or even one decade of your time. It is a whole act of the planet's journey unfolding over many of your years. As new generations with innate 4D consciousness are born, and as intuition slowly reform around compassion, you are trailblazers of this era. Think of yourselves as gardeners planting seeds of a forest. You might not live to fully see, yet the planting is sacred work, and the future generations will live under the shade of those trees. In more immediate terms, you will experience increasing glimpses of the 5D future in your timeline. Communities coming together in love, innovative solutions arising seemingly miraculously, and a personal sense of deeper peace taking root in your heart. Even if outer events remain choppy, cherish those glimpses. They are harbingers of what is to come. As you progress on your spiritual journey, it is vital to cultivate humility and patience. These qualities are quiet yet mighty companions that keep you rooted and steady in a world full of dramatic events. And in a path full of epiphanies, humility keeps your ego in check and your heart open. Patience allows the flowers of your efforts to bloom in their due season. Humility in the spiritual sense is the understanding that ultimately the mystery of the Creator is vast and beyond full grasp in the human state. No matter how much wisdom you attain, there will always be more to learn, and that is perfectly okay. In fact, it's beautiful. Embracing not knowing frees you from the pressures of the intellect and allows you to live from the heart. The stumble seeker does not claim to have all the answers and thus remains flexible, curious, and teachable. Tell yourselves often, I am a student of life. I am allowed to make mistakes, and I am here to learn. This attitude creates space within you. It softens the heart edges of self-judgment and dogma. And when you accept that you don't have to figure everything out, you make space for grace to enter those synchronicities and intuitive sights that often come precisely when you stop trying to control everything. Every outcome, humility also expresses as gratitude and reverence for the Creator, for others, and for the journey itself. When someone else shares wisdom or when you witness the truth, the humble heart says, thank you. I honor the source of this gift. There is no need to prove oneself right or superior. Rather, you begin to see every being as a teacher, every situation as a lesson. This equalizing perspective draws you closer to others and to the divine. You feel less isolated and more in tune with the unity of life and humility. One also realizes that the love and power that flow through you are not owned by you, but are channeled from the infinite. This protects against spiritual pride. If you develop a healing ability or psychic gift, for instance, humility reminds you that it is a service given through you, not from you alone. This keeps your energy clear and avoids distortions of ego that can divert one from positive path right now. Regarding patience, we speak of patience in two senses. Patience with the pace of your own growth and patience with the pace of the world's transformation. Both are much needed. It is common to feel that you are not advancing quickly enough. or that the world is painfully slow to change for the better. Realize that both personal and societal evolution follow a natural rhythm. Just as the seed takes time to sprout and a child takes years to grow, so do spiritual lessons unfold over the course of lifetimes, or many lifetimes. And an entire civilization may take generations to fully reflect the new density of consciousness. Impatience is like digging up a seed every day to see if it's growing. It ends up hindering the growth. Patience, on the other hand, is gently watering the seed and trusting the sunlight. Even if you see no results yet, knowing that unseen progress is being made in the soil, be patient and gentle with yourself. Some days you might feel full of love and clarity, and other days you might feel utterly lost or backslide into an old habit. This is normal healing and growth. Rarely move in a straight line. They spiral with recurrent themes, and sometimes you revisit old issues at a deeper level. When this happens, do not label yourself a failure. Instead, offer yourself understanding and encouragement, as you would a dear friend. See, I see I am struggling with this pattern again, and that is all right. I will try to learn what I can from this episode, and I trust that I am improving bit by bit. By treating yourself with patience, you create a safe internal space for real change to take root. Uh, Harshness and self-criticism ironically frees you in place. Patience and self-love invite you to blossom likewise. Within the outer world, practice patience with others who may not yet see what you see. Every soul has its timing. Some awaken quickly, others slowly. Some hearts open only after so much catalyst. It is not for us to force anyone's evolution. Continue to shine your light, speak your truth kindly, and allow others the dignity of their process. Patience in action looks like this when confronted with ignorance or negativity in society. You respond not with rage and despair, but with the calm conviction that truth will prevail. In time, with persistent efforts to embody the change you wish to see. This is a steady resolve. It's far more effective than frenetic frustration. It also preserves your inner peace. Inner alignment is the practice of coming back to your center again. And, and again, think of it as tuning your compass to spiritual north. In chaotic times, it is easy to get pulled off center by sudden shocks or collective fears. When you notice anxiety, anger, or hopelessness surging within due to external events, take that as a signal to realign. How to realign? Pause, breathe, and how to realign? Pause, breathe, and remember your core values and spiritual understandings. You might recall a simple truth such as love is the only reality. This circumstance is temporary, but love endures. Or I am a soul on a journey. What I choose to learn here, such reminders bring your mind back into harmony with your heart. Some find it helpful to place a hand on the heart or solar plexus and imagine light glowing there, reaffirming that your true powers lies within, not in controlling outer circumstances. Regular meditation, as mentioned, greatly aids in maintaining inner alignment because it establishes a familiar baseline of peace and connection that you can return to during the day. Additionally, if you find yourself overwhelmed by the world's energies, do not hesitate to take a break, unplug from the media, spend time in nature, or engage in a simple comforting activity. This is not selfish. This is not selfish escapism. It is a self-regulation. By taking care for your inner balance, you increase your ability to respond to the world helpfully. A calm and centered being can do far more good than a fanatic drained one. Finally, trust the process. Inner alignment also means alignment with the flow of a higher wisdom that is guiding your life and the planet. There is an invisible hand of the Creator moving through all these changes. When you align with it, you feel a sense of trust. Even amid uncertainty, you might affirm all that is happening is ultimately for the highest good. I attune myself to the divine plan and offer my service, trusting that I am exactly where I need to be right now. This trust is not a passive waiting. It is an active cooperation with the energies of change, done with faith that you live in a wise and loving universe. Such an attitude is immensely stabilizing and allows you to remain a beacon of light when others tremble. Beloved ones, you are on the cusp of magnificent transformation, both personally and collectively. Each step you take in consciousness, no matter how small it may seem, is a part of the great step that humanity is taking toward a fourth density 5D future of love and light. We want you to know how truly significant you are in this process. The work you do in your own mind and heart ripples outward in ways you cannot fully see. But one day you will understand and be astounded at the impact. Every time you choose forgiveness over retaliation, every time you choose compassion over judgment, every time you hold on to hope when fear beckons in these moments, you are literally birthing a new earth. You are voting with your consciousness for the timeline of unity, and the more that you do that, the more that you do this, the more swiftly and smoothly this transition will unfold. Take a moment to feel the many others around the globe who, just like you, are quietly working on themselves, meditating, praying for peace, helping their neighbors. You are part of a vast brotherhood and sisterhood of light workers. Though you may never meet physically, your souls are in harmony, coordinating in the higher planes. Together, you form the lattice of light that is uplifting your planet. You are not alone. While we cannot solve your issues for you or infringe on your free will, we can surround you with an extra dose of love, inspiration, and comfort to bolster your own faith and will. Something as simple as saying in your mind, please, my galactic family, be with me, and let your light and clarity in this moment is enough. You might then feel a gentle shift, perhaps, a tingling warmth, a soft reassurance, or a new idea that lights up in your mind. That is our hearts touching yours. We are joyous to do this. Your victory is our victory. We are all on a journey home together. Just as different stages as you step forward into the emerging 5D reality carry with you a spirit of celebration. Yes, there are challenges ahead, but there's also so much to celebrate. Every lesson learned, every act of love, every soul that awakens is cause for joy in the heavens. Do not focus only on what is wrong or what is ending. Also, take note of what is being born and what is right now blossoming. The truth is that love is blooming everywhere. Even if the news of the day seldom reports it, it blooms in the human heart quietly. One who notices these blooms, water them with your attention and gratitude. This is positive focus, not denial. It is powerful creation. By acknowledging the goodness, you amplify it. In closing, dear friends, we encourage you to walk forward in faith and love. Have faith in yourself, that your soul knew exactly what it was doing by coming here, and have faith in your brothers and sisters, that beneath any confusion or hostility, their true nature is love, and they too remember. When the time is right, have faith in the earth, and that she is resilient and ascending beautifully. You are a cell in her great body. You listen to me. You are a cell in her great body, bro. Do you understand that, bro? Uh, Aiding this healing and have faith in the infinite creator, the source of all which have devised this beautiful tapestry where darkness is woven into light for a time, only to ultimately reveal greater light. All is well and all will be well. We are with you in this grand adventure. We hold each of you in our hearts with immense respect and affection. We know that the road is not easy, but all the glory that awaits just around the bend is beyond your current imagining. Keep going step by step, choice by choice. You are moving into your 5D future. We celebrate your courage and devotion with peace and love and the infinite wisdom of the cosmos. I am Z, and I am delighted to have been with you today. So I want to give a quick shout out to Z, bro. Thank you for that. Thank you for that message, bro. Shout out to Sarah B. Trennell. Thank you for that channel. That was a dope message, bro. Right now, they gave us a lot of information. They gave us a ridiculous amount of information in this message, and there was a few things that I saw in there, or that I read through that I wanted to talk about. But man, for me to sit here and go back through this fucking message, bro, and figure out all the shit they said, bro. But look, with that said, I did learn. Look, I did learn from this message, bro. So, I gotta look at everybody as a teacher, and they're learning in their own way. So whatever, bro. Like, shout out to the light workers, bro. I love y'all, man. Right? Uh, you know, I'm allowed to get mad. I'm allowed to have my emotions, right? So if I talk some shit and I hurt your feelings, you got to sit down with that, buddy. You hear me? You got to sit down with that, buddy. I'm not saying sorry. I'm not sorry, bro. Right. So with that said, I do love you guys. God loves you. Universe loves you, bro. The people that's feelings are hurt. I'm glad they hurt, bro. I'm happy, bro. You understand me? For anybody who feels offended, good. Right, good. Right, if this doesn't apply to you, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm not talking to you. Shout out to Migdalia Gomez. I see you, man. I hope you're having a good day. Look, I'm leaving, so I hope you guys enjoyed the live. I'll see you guys in the morning. I did drop a few dance videos. Go check them out, right? If you haven't, and I got a few more coming. I might go drop another one today, bro. Right? So look, enjoy your Sunday, man. God bless y'all, bro.